Thursday, December the 1st, 2022. Pinch punch, first of the month. December already. Once again, I'm just over the border from West Berkshire in Wiltshire. About to undertake a short walk today, around 8.5 miles, circular of Bedwyn. It's a very misty day at the moment, which it shouldn't be per the Met, the reliable Met. By 12 noon, which it is now, it was meant to have cleared and we'd have sunny intervals for the afternoon. However, as you can see, that is not the case, so I'm not sure how much of a walk I'm going to be actually able to film. It's another Ramblers Routes walk, as I was so impressed with last week's one. So let's see what this one's like, if we can see anything. Let's just hope this mist clears in the next few minutes. Unlikely by the looks of things. Got a colder day, around 4 or 5 degrees. Hardly any breeze though, which is easterly, northeasterly today, so just as well. So it's, as I say, about 12 noon. There is a train at 3:50 that I've got my eye on. So let's crack on. So almost immediately upon leaving the station, you do a left, cross over the canal bridge, and you're down by the canal, where we turn right under this canal bridge. Now it's just as well that the canal is the first part of the walk today, with this mist as it is, because we won't be missing too much this way. Information panel here from the Canal and River Trust, and I'm at Great Bedwyn Wharf, as you can see, and we're walking once again along the Kennet and Avon, which opened in 1810 as a trading route from Bristol to London. And as per usual, the railway opened not long after, very close to it. I notice my breath is steaming at the moment, so that might interfere with visibility as well. Hopefully not. Now I've just noticed this on the bridge, which is usefully positioned for walkers there. If you'd come out of the station and done a right, you've got a number of refreshment possibilities. Although I can tell you now that on a Thursday, the pub doesn't open until 5, which is no good. Because I was hoping to wait in there for an hour, but if I'd missed my train, but I won't be today, because it doesn't open early enough. You've got a few barges here alongside the canal, obviously, and I must say the footpath here is quite slippy and muddy, not made up in any way. Can't even see the railway line, which is just over yonder there, about 100 yards away. First of our locks today, and I wonder if this weir feature is for the fish, a fish passage. Would make sense. Looks like a modern addition anyway. There, you can just about make out a freight train. You can hear it more than see it, as I'm stood by the second lock of the morning. The sun is trying to break through just behind me here, so fingers crossed. So as we enter Little Bedwyn, there's an information board here about Wendy's Cafe and Juice Bar. Opening hours again are very unhelpful really, 10 to 3. And just beyond that you've got a pedestrian footbridge over the railway, and we take a right here, leaving the canal behind us. So as you can see, the railway is literally alongside the canal here. You can just about see that as it's so close. Passing the former Harrow restaurant, referred to in the very brief notes that I have on this walk. Leaving Little Bedwyn behind us, but not yet the fog. And as you may be able to detect, sun's breaking through. So fingers crossed, it's getting a bit clearer. So after about a mile of quiet lane walking, only one vehicle passed me, we take this finger post, which is now illegible. Borough and Heath, I think it was meant to say, but Jockey Green will do. And follow this path down here. Decent surfaces thus far. Canal-side was the worst bit, and even that wasn't that bad. Yeah, so the lower of the two signs should say Burridge Heath. Right, follow this track for about a mile apparently. So we're now entering the Polesden estate, and I wouldn't have thought that was anything to do with Polesden Lacey, which is a good distance from here. Still, you never know. They did used to own swathes of the countryside once upon a time, these aristocrats. So don't go straight on at this bend. Follow the bridleway sign there to my right on the surface, the hard surface. And as you can see, sun's still losing the battle at the moment against the fog, but hopefully it'll get there. Come out into a bit more open terrain here, but I wouldn't know if there's a decent view on my right, because I can't see that far currently. We do have some decent height ranges today though, from memory. I'll just check. Well, I'm currently stood at around 500 foot per the altimeter, but you certainly wouldn't know it. So having just passed Burridge Heath Farm on my right, we come off the track to take this finger post right here. And I've just checked with the Met, and no sunshine this afternoon now. So once again, they get it wrong. We're going to have an afternoon of fog and mist. So sorry about that. Passing a belt of Norway spruce here, of the type we saw in Thetford last week. Lovely. And similar to the example being put up in Trafalgar Square at the moment. Yeah, shame about this fog. Good potential this walk. So the row of spruce behind me now is the wrong way. Luckily I spotted that fairly sharpish, and we in fact continue sharp left and straight on towards the sun now, what there is of it. So having just come through a large galvanised gate, continue straight on, sort of right, with a fence on your right and the trees on your left here. And I suppose one thing this walk in the fog today does highlight is our variable British winters. Not every day is a sunny one, much as I try to choose those days. Can only go with the weather forecast, and today they got it wrong. Very wrong. Which is often the case with fog. Very unpredictable. Well, this was birch copse, which also contains Norway spruce and beech, amongst others. Passing the pleasantly located Folly Farm, where we take right down towards the road apparently. At this junction, on a lane marked Oxenwood, we come across this finger post after about 10 yards, and we take a right here. Still not much to see, I'm afraid. Nice new oak and beech copse planted here. As I make my way towards Castle Copse, struggling for bird sightings today, but there's a family of long-tailed tits in here, and some blue tits you may be able to hear as well. Now entering something called the Bedwyn Brail. Yeah, interesting. Looks like an open space, soon find out. It does pay to use the GPX track as well as the minimal notes, because it is easy to go wrong just using the notes. But we're now in Castle Copse. Once I reach the windmill, yes, there's a windmill on this walk, I hope to have my lunch there, because by all accounts there are some seats, but not much of a view. I think that'll be the high point in terms of physical height, but nothing to see, unfortunately. So at this juncture, take the left towards the windmill. Still in Bedwyn Brail, and I've just passed the first person out walking today apart from myself, local with a little dog. Passing a useful barn there on my left, which has got a kind of bench there, or could be utilised as such in the event it was raining. So a possible early lunch stop there. Passing the Easter Island style tree trunks there with a seat below. Passing a chair on my left here, seat, with a decent view. Not far to the windmill now. Now on a byway prior to reaching a country lane, and then onto the windmill. Even this isn't too muddy. So yeah, good winter walk this one in terms of what's underfoot. So here we are. Lunch is served very shortly. Yeah, there you go. Anyone looking for a part-time little number? So this is deemed Vale of Pewsey still, interestingly. Wilton Windmill. The only working windmill in Wessex, by all accounts. So Google that for more research. And there she blows. The mist has lifted slightly so we can see it, but not that clearly. There's a section through Wilton Windmill and guide to the various parts here, which is interesting. Again, you might be able to Google that. Lots of information panels alongside about the sails, the stones, the fantail, and so on. Dust floor, spout floor, bin floor. Wonderful. And from the rear, which is slightly clearer because the sun's on this side, and there's one of those shepherd type huts we saw last week in Fakenham. Not Fakenham, Brandon. That'll be the cafe in the summer season, no doubt. Some tables over there, as I thought there would be. So lunch will be served around 2 o'clock, and it's looking touch and go whether I'll be back for that 3:50 train, you know, which will be a pain if I miss that. An hour till the next one and nothing to do there. Wonderful building on stilts. That we'll catch what that is later after lunch. And the final view from the picnic table side. It's amazing it's the only working mill in Wessex. Interesting information panel here about the windmill inside and out, attached to the cafe here, the shepherd's hut. So it's about 2:25 now, lunch has been had. No time to hang around, it's too cold. Let's get cracking. Yes, so are you. The camera's behind me, I'm aware of that. The Wilton Windmill Society. Yeah. Interesting. Wonder if that's that feature there. Lots of interesting stuff still knocking around, look. The information panel here about the granary. And there she blows. So what are these, emus or what's the other one, a rhea? Can't remember. Look big enough to be emus to me. Ostrich maybe, don't know. Not good on exotics. So this is the Swan in the village of Wilton, at the village pond in its festive guise. Lots of thatch in this village as well, hence Thatcham just up the road. I presume. Yeah, very festive amongst the mist. So would you Adam and Eve it? As of November 22, there is a diversion here beside Wilton Water, which means I can't do the section down by the beam engines, which were an integral part of today's walk. So I'm not having much luck today, so I'm going to have to find an alternative back now. They don't give one there, they just say use the public highway and public rights of way network. Very helpful, and there's nothing shown on their map. Well done, Wiltshire County Council. Okay, so as a diversion I've come up the mid-Wilts way here, and I'm going to take the second on the right, just here by this finger post, which will take me back down to the canal side where the repairs are being done apparently, but beyond the repairs hopefully, at the Crofton Cottage level crossing I think it is. So all I can see at the minute is nitrogen replacing plants below my feet, not much else. We're going to be going past Bedwyn Braille again on my right shortly per the map, but that's about it. No views again. It's getting heavier now, the blanket. Not much to see outside, it's all fog, but I'm following this byway now which is clear, down to the canal hopefully. Right, so you eventually come to New Bridge Lock here, which hopefully now will be fairly straightforward back to the station. But the section that I'm looking at onwards is where the canal repairs are being done apparently. Bridge number 98 there. This side of the canal is much better underfoot than the first part this morning. Passing lock number 64 here. Great Bedwyn above lock it's called. Bit of nostalgia here. Can just make out Bedwyn Church there in the gloom. The other side of the rail line, which runs just the other side of that tree line. Interesting, there's a barge there called the Gilbert White, who was obviously a naturalist. Walked past his place in on another Saturday Walkers Club walk. And interestingly, this one's got geese on the roof. So they must be into their natural history, the owners of this vessel. So here we are, back where we started this morning. And if anything, the mist and fog has now got gloomier. So just a couple of minutes and we're back at the station, thankfully. Yes, I say fortunately because I haven't had much luck today with this walk. All I can say about it is it was a nice dose of very fresh air. Got to see most of the stuff within 100 yards of myself, but not much else. Saw the windmill, but not the beam engines. So I've done about 8 miles today, not very many. Hence I'm back at 3:30. So yes, I'll have to come back and do this one again at some point. I'll make an inquiry about those repairs down by the canal and when they might be done. I'll ask Ramblers Routes to keep their eye on it, monitor it and let us know, because this does have potential to be a good walk for sure. Trouble is, it's not long enough to do in the summer. Has to be done in the spring or autumn, shorter days really, and then you risk getting the weather conditions that I've had today. Anyway, it is a good walk for winter, that's for sure, because it's not too muddy. So until the next time, take care.